You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
I look good. I got big energy every day. Let's go!
And he is dicked.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That's right.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host Wolldog, and
Are you?
Yeah, I think so. We're just that much closer now to the first game. I just
Can't talk.
I can't talk. Words, sentences.
2 days.
2 days away, folks. Let's not forget, I'm with my other buddies, Kev, Hug, and Duggan.
I am just exploding with excitement right now.
I can hear it in your voice.
I'm explosively excited right now.
I am explosively excited right now.
I
am so excited.
Serial.
If
right
I
now.
release this excitement, it would kill 2 people.
It would be not a great thing.
Or it would create something.
Oh, it might create something.
Kevin's good at that.
Kevin is good at that. Real quick, Kyle, the coach Duggan, is also here with us.
I'm here.
All right. And yeah, there might be a new member to the Charger Chat family here, folks. Kev, what's going on in Missouri? What's in the water?
Another Charger fan is
in
on
the
the way,
water.
boys.
Oh, my goodness.
Woo!
Wow.
Yeah, the wife and I are having our fourth, count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth boy. Coming in hot, baby. Another Charger fan.
You're
put him on the roster.
How
Kevin
old is your
is-
oldest boy?
He's 6.
You got 4.
Four
The oldest
kids
got
within
6.
6
It's gonna
years
be
of
6.
each other.
It's gonna be 6, 4, 2, and new. That's
Oh
how
my
we're doing
God.
it, baby.
Jeez.
He's battling against Phillip Rivers, guys. I
I'm
can't
telling
talk
you.
him down off the ledge.
I might, if I could give Phil a run for his money. I'm that good at it, guys.
Crazy. You're
That
insane.
good at it. I know. But it's awesome. The baby's due in December, so it's gonna be fun, man.
Wow.
Playoff baby. Let's rock and roll.
Good thing you got a mom like Josie at home supporting
no
you, because I
kidding.
know you couldn't do it.
No, hell no.
Yeah, I've
Without
watched
Josie,
you
I
with
am
the boys,
nothing.
and you're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's more like body slams and like, this other day we were doing some like pillow fights and I got a little too carried away on one of them.
Little whiplash.
Good times. Though.
That's okay.
Everyone's
That's
okay.
what dads are for.
That's right.
That's what we're here
They're there
for.
to give
Moms
you
do all the
whiplash.
heavy lifting.
So thanks for letting me share. I'm excited. It's gonna be good.
Congrats.
It is exciting. Yes,
Thanks, boys.
congratulations, buddy. All right. Well, now let's take a look at what's going on in the Charger news. There was an article written recently about Derwin James, who was interviewed by the OC Registry and had this to say about the upcoming season. Sorry, there was a burp there. I couldn't stop it. It was on its way.
Yeah, couldn't overcome it. Sometimes you just gotta let it go.
It was organic, man. It's
It really
natural.
was.
Just gotta let gas
Yeah.
happen,
This is
bro.
a fan podcast.
I
We're
was
not
trying to
pros.
hold it down.
No.
It was
Belches
like,
go.
nope, I've got to be a part of this. All right. So first quote here. A lot of times guys get injured and they just want to try to come back and just be healthy, James said. No, I'm coming back to be dominant.
Yeah.
To be the same person that I was before. And that's the kind of mindset I look at it as. That's a hell of a
yes.
quote.
That's
man.
a good perspective. It's a
Yeah.
good way to think about it. Like some
Yeah.
guys just want to get back in so they can
Be
not get
tentative
hurt
and
again.
not get hurt. Yeah.
He's like, let's go.
Yeah.
Reins are off. Let's go.
Yeah, no, anybody that's seen any of his off-season rehabbing, the guy is going hard. Yeah, I mean, in a way that like it's almost concerning, like how hard he's going. Just as like, dude, are you sure that you should be doing this?
Yeah.
Even if you weren't injured, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I'm like, Derwin, I'll take you at 80%, bro. Chill.
Right.
80% is still best in the league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all right. But no, dude, that's his mindset. He wants to come back. He wants to be dominant.
That's
Um,
a championship mindset. That
that's-
is what we need.
Yep.
Our quarterback sits and looks into his locker for 2 hours thinking about what he's done with his life.
Yeah.
And Derwin James is coming back ready to go, ready to fire at full
Not scared
Blast.
of nothing.
No,
nothing. Anything. I'm not scared of anything.
Anything.
That's why he's a captain. He also said this year I told myself everything, I will speak it to existence. I was positive. I'm like, we're going to get healthy. We're going to make it to the season. We're going to speak it to existence because everything you say with a tongue is powerful. That's why I believe it.
Amen.
Amen.
Derwin James,
Positive.
Pro Bowler, MVP, Super Bowl champion. I just spoke it. It's happening.
It's out
Spoken
there.
into existence. It's
Let's
that powerful.
Buckle up, Derwin.
Love it.
And then they also talked to Brandon Staley about Derwin. Brandon Staley had this to say: there aren't many players like him in the league on any side of the ball because you have rare talent, rare size, and speed, which are critical factors for the position. He can do anything on the field and play anywhere. He's your signal caller. I'm not aware of any other defensive backs in the league that are the signal caller. You can make the case that he's the leader of our entire football team and the face of your football team. Certainly one of them. I haven't been around too many guys like that, regardless of the position. Normally, it's quarterbacks. Derwin is one of the few defensive players that I'm aware of in the league that can carry that mantle.
Yeah, it's like a Ray Lewis type. Ray Lewis was the face of the Ravens. You know, like he brought the energy, he brought the excitement. I feel like Derwin James is that same kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's so exciting to hear Coach talk about him like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, those are big words. That's a huge statement to say that this guy who we all love, but as we've mentioned, has really
I'll
not
say
had that
till
much
I'm blue in the face, but I don't know anything.
But hasn't had the same amount of playing time with us as some of these other players. And to say that about this guy that's huge for a guy that we've not had for over a season at this point, that he is the face of this team. Like, whoa, that's impressive.
It's kind of interesting too. Like you had some of like the old guard, like the Melvin Ingram and some of these older guys kind of step away from the team, and it kind of opened up this opportunity where now Derwin is that guy. Like some of those guys had to step away for him to have that. And I think it's the perfect timing. A new coach, he's setting a new culture with his new players, and you know, Derwin's at the forefront of that. You know, he's the quarterback of the defense. Justin Herbert is quarterback of the offense. We got some pretty badass quarterbacks.
Yeah, and it's good to have those kind of guys. Like it takes the pressure off the quarterback to be the guy.
Yeah.
You know, like if that's not your natural thing, then just fall into what you do naturally.
Right,
And
be you.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have to try to be the face or be that vocal leader. Derwin can do that.
You can share the load. It's like this podcast. Adam carries us every episode. What would we do without the Wolf?
Yeah,
I don't
go back
know.
and listen to episode 1 or 2 because I tried and it was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, we rely on each other to be the best we can. Same
Know
with the
your
Chargers.
strength and lean into it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who other guy would you find that would burp mid sentence? That doesn't happen.
Exactly. Am I right?
Rare. It's a rare talent, rare size, rare speed. They're all critical for your position.
I loved your combine numbers. That's why we brought you on.
Yeah.
Well, I just
went back and looked at tape, and I was like, you know what, Bulldog's the guy.
I'm glad
deep,
you noticed.
Deep dive. Yeah. He's the guy, pal.
Joey Bosa stepped into a scuffle to get Derwin's back during a joint practice. Joey don't even act like that. That's my brother. I treat all them boys as my brothers. Every day is bigger than football for me. You can ask anybody in the locker room. I'm always, man, how's your family? I want to have a relationship bigger than football. That way, when we are in the heat of the battle, I know you got my back. See, I know Joey Bosa has my back. Same thing, vice versa, man. I have his back.
That's awesome.
Music to my ears. It sounds exactly perfectly aligned with Staley's philosophy,
Right. Yeah.
and what he wants to do, and it makes sense. It makes sense that they're working so well together.
I'm curious what the scuffle was now. Because I remember there was definitely some jawing back and forth, but I don't remember there being a scuffle, a kerfuffle.
Yeah, it was like a practice scuffle thing, and he just got in his face. That happens.
If
all
I'm
the
a
time.
wide receiver trying to get into Derwin James's face and Joey Bosa starts approaching me, I'm out. We're good.
You know what? We're good.
You win. It's over.
Stand down. Stand down.
Stand down.
And then they also reached out to Tony Romo, was recently interviewed and had this to say about our defense. Their defensive system was built on one gap, fast speed, everything, and now they're going to be very technical as far as they're going to give the quarterback fits. I don't think they're going to lose games late because of their defense. Their scheme is going to be very difficult to comprehend.
Music to my ears.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
As Charger fans, everyone out there, everyone listening to this right now, who is excited to not be panicked in the fourth quarter when we have a lead?
Yeah.
Me.
That's
all I want
Yeah.
this season. Like, we can lose games. It's going to happen, but not losing those games that way.
Yes.
Keep it up.
I mean, we gotta see it. We're all expecting it. So now we got to see it and make sure that we can actually play at least slightly differently than we have in games past. So excellent. All great stuff to hear. All right. Well, there was another bit of news that kind of broke recently that kind of caught us a little bit by surprise, as far as like how the scheduling is handled for away games and stuff like that. Kevin just heard something about this. What did you hear, Kev?
Yeah, so it was the press conference Staley just did, and there, it's these little details that you don't think about as fans. We're not thinking about this. So, when you travel across the country as a football team, usually you need time to get there, get prepared, get set up, all that stuff. So what Staley said in a press conference just recently is that they are going to, usually teams travel on Friday for a Sunday game. So they travel Friday, get there at the hotel Saturday. They're all day, they're all day. They play on Sunday. We're traveling on Saturday now. We're skipping a full day, and we're literally going to wake up, go to team meetings, have food, get on an airplane, and fly. And what he's saying is that, like, the consistency of doing it this way, you don't have a full day of downtime where people are stuck in a hotel. You know what I mean? Like, you're being very efficient and, intentional, I think is his word all the time. Very intentional with your time. So that's something to keep an eye on. This first game, they're going out much shorter time than they usually have. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
Well, we've never really played well on the East Coast before, so you might as well switch it up, spice things
might as
up.
well try
wild card.
Yeah, wild card. But it's also with COVID too. It's like you don't want downtime. You don't want guys to be just sitting in their room doing nothing because they can't go out. I mean, I'm sure that guys used to go out to dinners and do this and that on like
check
travel
out the town,
nights. Yeah, but you probably can't do that with protocol. So why waste time going over there? And even with one day, the time change and the jet lag, it's probably going to be there no matter what. So you might as well get one more good night's sleep at home before you head out. And even at home games, the guys stay at the hotel the night before. So this is just keeping that same consistent routine. It makes sense. We'll see. I'm excited to see if it helps.
And Coach was saying that, the sleep is something they really took into consideration. And then they are also talking about how all their, OTAs, all the training camp, all that, their start time is all based on playing these Eastern times. So they start at 9 a.m. So like everybody's bodies are up, activated, ready to go when they should be playing these games that are usually hard for West Coast teams to travel east.
Sure. Yeah.
So hopefully these little details that Staley's doing really will, it might not be the most giant effect, but little things might add up to, to a
fourth
bigger
quarter W's.
Thing. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're looking for.
It's a play here or there. And if you can help do that in the little details, you do it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, as long as they get the same amount of time to warm up and practice prior to the game happening, then, I mean, they could get there, 2 minutes prior to when they would normally get there. And I'm
Whoa.
I'm just saying, I trust
Bold
Staley.
Hot take.
I'm just saying I trust Staley if he's going to try something different, it's like, sure, try something different, man. See if it helps. Like at this point, we're trying a lot of different things. And what do I know? I'm just a guy with a podcast.
Last 50 years, we haven't won a Super Bowl. Might as well try something new.
Exactly. Hey,
everything's out the window at this point.
Just walk right off the plane and onto the field, Star Spangled Banner and call it good. All right. Well, all good information to have going into this game. Again, just a couple days away for this first game against the Washington football team. But before we get there, it's time for our next segment. It's Bolt Insight, and we might have a familiar face on the other side of this Bolt Insight. Let's see who it is. Who's behind door number 1?
As soon as that clock starts, your ass is mine.
When I met Justin Herbert, man, that dude is big as hell.
The goal is to just keep it rolling.
Come in hype because we have a lot of things to be excited about.
All right, guys, we are back with another Bolt Insight, and we have a very familiar face. We have the one and only Craig from the Craig Experience on Bolt Insight. What's going on, Craig?
Hold on, let me do this real quick, Kev. Certified refresh.
Certified refresh. I like that. Certified refresh. I'm stealing that. Well, welcome back on, man. We haven't actually had you in this capacity since the draft and had you on the show and talking with one of us. So wanted to bring you on. This is a big ass week, man. We got our first game against the Washington football team. Let's chat with you a little bit. let's go back because we had you on a long time ago. We found out how you became a Charger fan, but we got a lot of new listeners. So let's redo this thing. Let's reverse back to how did you become a Charger fan?
That guy right there, 2-1. So November 20th, 1999, TCU versus Texas El Paso, 406 yards, 6 TDs. Now, as a kid in high school, I was, I think 99 was probably like my sophomore year of high school, something around there. And I played running back and wide receiver, and I loved LT. And what I realized was, and at that point in time, I didn't really have a team. And I said, like, wherever he gets drafted, that's where I'm going. So, of course, 01 draft rolls around, make that trade with the Falcons. They get Vic, we get LT. And then as a caveat, you also get Drew Brees, second round. So it was actually really, really awesome. But from that point on, it was the Bolts and nothing else for me, and a family full of Saints fans. So imagine how that went over.
I know, right? And you're in Texas. So we were talking a little bit beforehand. It appears there's one team that kind of is just taking over little areas, little bandwagoners. Tell us a little bit about your neighbors. So we talked about this briefly.
So I have a new neighbor, and I'm trying not to give them too much grief because they literally just had a baby days ago. And I noticed once we came back from vacation in Jamaica, like they had just moved in, and dude had a big Chiefs bumper sticker. And I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. And so like, I haven't really given him any like gruff about it just yet. I haven't even told him I'm a Chargers fan. I'm just going to kind of drop it on him. But around my neighborhood, literally a block away, there's a Chiefs flag flying that came out of nowhere here in just recent weeks. And then like in the next subdivision, somebody else with the Chiefs bumper sticker, and they're just popping up all over the place. It's got to be bandwagon because I've lived here for 4 years. I've not seen this anywhere until just very recently. So I'm not really happy about it. But this is my neighborhood, so they'll have to deal with me.
I wonder what the punishment is for, like, I wouldn't call it flag stealing. I'd call it flag borrowing. If you just like relocated it, I wonder what the punishment would be for that, because it might be worth it.
See, the only problem with that is I haven't seen any other Chargers fans in my neighborhood or around, except in the grocery store. I think I mentioned that before. So if things come up missing, everyone's going to know to look for me.
It's all right, dude. You're good. You got 2 other fans with you. Boom and boom.
Like I said, like if we can just kind of start the community GoFundMe for my bail, if they call the cops on me, then yeah, I'm down for it. I'm representing the team no matter what. I have no problem.
We'll set it up. So speaking of like fans, and our fans are growing, obviously. I'm sure you can sense it. So like, what have you noticed in terms of like the fan base this off season? Because it's been kind of growing, but this off season, a lot of interaction, a lot of involvement on Twitter. So a lot going on. What are your thoughts on kind of the state of our fan base?
It's definitely growing. And I think we owe a lot of that, not just to the move, but Justin Herbert, man. Everybody loves the dude. You've seen all these nice articles coming out about him, like Mina Kimes put out something about him a little while ago that just kind of like continues to shine a light on just like how awesome the dude is. I think right now as a fan base, it's cool just to even get the people who are literally only joining because it's trendy, because of Justin Herbert, whatever gets them over here. Hopefully they stick. But I mean, lucky for them, they got to skip out on all the misery from seasons past. So they don't quite understand what it means to really, really love the team. But I'm not hating on that at all. Like whatever gets it to continue to grow, and like all the numerous podcasts and everything that are popping up, I think all of that's helping and just creating this really awesome community that I hope just, continues to flourish. Because once we hold that Lombardi up, they're going to be coming fast and furious. So get in while you can.
There's going to be some more bumper stickers and flags going up in different parts of the country.
I might deck out my entire front yard, man. So who knows? And I might be with you on that tattoo. I'm thinking about it.
All right, well, let's jump in a little bit on the team. Like for me, this is like in recent memory, this is like the first time in a while where we're walking into week 1 with our roster intact. And it's a weird feeling, and I'm nervous, I'm anxious, but I also feel good about it, seeing some of these other teams in the league, J.K. Dobbins, some of these star players going down, and it's not us this year, so it feels really different. Being like an athletic-minded guy, you're clearly the most fit on Charger Chat. What are your thoughts on this new process Staley's doing, where it's this long activation and this new stuff he's doing at practices that, it feels like it's warming the guys up? Or are there other things that go into this, this newfound health?
Honestly, I'm a little shocked that it took a new regime to even get this kicked off. Like, I've always understood the benefits of prehab, kind of getting in front of things and getting your body activated and warmed up and ready for like the action it's about to go through prior to just like kind of jumping into things or trying to figure it out on your own. Just having the uniform thing across the organization with the players. It makes perfect sense to me. So I'm happy that we have a coach that's, health-minded in that way. Even if it requires like kind of you see through the preseason, these guys sitting out and not really playing. Yeah, it would be nice to see some of the starters get snaps, but ultimately we want to get them to week 1. And it seems like the goal's been accomplished there. As long as they're doing what they need to do on the front end and it gets them to week 1 and, every week thereafter, then it's awesome for me. And again, I'm not sure what took it so long, but I'm just happy it's here. So I'm not complaining anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just exciting to see kind of like the way the players are reacting to, this offseason thing. And they're all kind of like, yeah, I've never really experienced this before, but our practices feel like game time practices. So thoughts on kind of practicing at a high tempo and a high energy versus not, playing against other teams that don't have that, the ripcord, the pull back. You can't control how they're going at your guys. Talk a little bit about that.
So yeah, practicing in a controlled environment, I think is tremendous because what it allows you to do is be more efficient, and you can kind of navigate around some of those things. Now, injuries and bumps and bruises and stuff like that, those things happen. It's a physical sport. It's literally car crashes every snap.
Yeah,
but like the Seattle game, for instance, those dudes weren't playing, and I mean we're talking about like 3rd, 4th stringers, guys out there that are in the practice squad aren't on the team anymore that are blocking for your number 2 and number 3 QBs. And Seattle didn't give a damn. They were just blitzing like every other play and sending guys, like crazy. So you don't really get to control that in, like you could in a practice environment. You can kind of focus on exactly the things where you need help. So just being able to section off practices on the things that you need to focus on, whereas in a preseason game, it's a game, it's live. So you don't know how much action a person's going to get. Like, for instance, the kicking game. You got some games where you have a competition, but one guy might not get to kick at all.
Yeah.
What happened a couple times. We saw that in the last 2 games. Like one of the other kicker got no snaps at all. In practice, you get those reps. So if you can keep that at a high level during practice, you can kind of work in every phase of the game. So advantage you. Whereas in preseason games, who knows what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, we're pumped because this week we got football back. It's coming fast. We're talking here on Friday. We're getting right into the weekend. So, like, what are you most looking forward to in this Washington game?
Oh boy, I think we're all kind of just anxious to see what this new defense looks like. We saw some really great things in preseason. It's way more aggressive. I'm looking for the combinations of players on the field at one time. I think the base defense is going to be mostly nickel because it's what a lot of teams are playing. So not necessarily the base, but the defense will be in most of the time. And to see who rotates out of those like star and money positions and nickel and dime packages, and specifically the safety play, because safety depth is better now since we've added a couple guys here and there, but also just kind of the versatility of all the DBs, because we know Staley's thing isn't necessary to have guys kind of pigeonholed into one spot. He wants the secondary to be versatile. So I'm looking forward to see how those guys are kind of moved around and used in tandem. And Kaiser White, I'm really, really excited about his potential this year. So, I mean, outside of just the bigger names, I think Kaiser White is really locked and loaded to have an awesome, awesome season.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited for this game. I think the one I'm most looking forward to right now is the Rashawn Slater-Chase Young matchup. Like, highly, that's the easy one. But if Chase Young can't get to the quarterback and Rashawn Slater does what we brought him to do and what he did to him in college, this is going to have a different feeling for me in offense-wise in terms of like comfortability and not stressing about Herbert's health. So what are your thoughts on him in that matchup?
Oh, man. So this is round 3, actually. I know a lot of people think that like this is the second time they've gone against each other, but they literally faced off twice in college. So this is actually the 3rd time. And I think it's, you give Chase Young a bit of an advantage because he has the NFL experience. But then if you look at the fact that you got Rashawn going up against Joey Bosa in practice every day, another Ohio State alum, and otherworldly pass rusher. He's getting as much experience to battle someone like that as possible. So I think he's going to fare really well. Now, I mean, with the rest of the offensive line, there are going to be questions because the Washington defensive front is pretty crazy, and they have excellent pass rushers and guys in the middle. I'm not so much worried about, Rashawn. I think he'll be fine. He'll probably go through like his rookie bumps, but outside of that matchup doesn't concern me as much as the rest of the offensive line does.
Yeah, we need Bulaga to stay healthy and hold that down. That's the one that I'm like, man, I haven't seen enough of you this offseason, and you're kind of stressing me out with your, coming off the field a lot. We hear reports of him always seeing the trainers. I'm hoping he can stay healthy for majority of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. It just I hate feeling like it's just like not a matter of like if, but when with him. Yeah. So hopefully the depth behind, oh God, I just thought about
No, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Shame spiral. We'll spiral into depression on his day.
Okay, so anyway, so fingers crossed that Bulaga kind of stays upright and can do what he's done, throughout his years in the league, stay healthy and be a high-level performer on the right side. That's all I got on that because I got to get Trey Pipkins off my brain.
I get it off there. It's not good. It's not good for anyone. So, what's your plan for the season? Are you going into any games? Are you going to make it to SoFi this year?
Okay, so that is what I'm working on now. I really, really, and I know this is going to be a tough one. Tickets are probably going to be astronomical. I really want to get to the Chiefs game. My best friend is actually a Chiefs fan. Yeah. So he keeps telling me, he's like, dude, we got to get out there. We either going to that or we're going to the Chiefs game. I'm like, yeah, I'm staying away from that Chiefs game. I don't want to end up in a fight. Let's go to the LA game. Let's work on that. So definitely doing that. They are playing the Texans here, and I'm trying to finagle this. It's literally like the week of Christmas, I believe. It's in Houston. Yeah. So if my wife
I know you brought this up. You got to bring up you're figuring out some gift ideas. Did you figure something out to make this happen?
I have a couple things in mind. I've already kind of planted some seeds, so she knows I'm thinking of it. And she was already kind of looking at me like, okay, buddy. I'm like, hey, I love this team. I love you more, of course. But you know how big of a deal this is to me. So she's already kind of like going along the way of saying, okay, and giving me some leeway with it. Because, again, it's Christmas. So we'll have a lot of family around and and there are our kids. So those are the two games that I have my eyes on right now. The one against KC and SoFi, though, that's the one that I'm really keen on. So I'm gonna have to pay a pretty penny for those tickets, I'm sure.
I'm sure Jen or Karen can help hook you up, get you lined up with somebody doing it face value. And, our Charger community is taking care of us. That's what I love about it so much right now. So
that's cool. I got my radar. I'm definitely going to be hitting up either or to see if they can help me out in finding a couple tickets for it.
Yeah, I'm sure they can. Two things. One, Bolt prediction. What's the score of this game coming up?
Okay. I think it's going to be more of a defensive battle. So I'm thinking either high teens, low 20s. I'm going to say Chargers 23 is going to be a really weird score. I think the kicking game is going to come into play here. So, Biscayno, I hope you're on your job. 23-20 Chargers.
Close one still. I hope Staley just kind of shuts down Fitz. He's not Fitz Magic. He's Fitz Tragic on Monday, if you will. Sunday, if you will. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, cool. Last question. Here we go. This is Kevin's stupid question for you. Here we go. If you could take one Charger host to be in a pro wrestling tag team match with you.
And see, you guys, come on, man. It couldn't be like a quad team match, but all right, whatever. If you're going to force me into a corner, here's why. I'm going to go with Wooly. Here's why. I think because he can imitate any wrestler's voice, it'll help be something that we can utilize to put fear in whoever it is we're going against. Because that dude, if he can pull off, I think he's done a Macho Man.
Yeah,
he can pull off a Macho Man, he doesn't even talk, so can't use him. But a Hulk Hogan, something like that. If he's in the corner just freaking out, mimicking wrestlers, I think it'll be enough to throw whoever we're going against off.
Nice.
And hell, they might forfeit. We might not even have to do it.
It feels like Will Dog would be like, the great guy to distract the ref so you could get a couple cheap shots in. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah.
There you go.
That feels pretty good.
Will Dog's like multifaceted. So I think we can kind of use, not saying you guys aren't, but I think we can use some of those tactics to kind of maybe like cheat our way to a win if necessary. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
And if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And it's pro wrestling. So Kyle and I run down at the very end, start biting some ankles. Game on. Charger Chat wins 4-2.
Yeah, you guys come down like from the rafters or something. Somebody
we'll fly in. We'll fly in. Yeah.
Yeah, you start the leg dropping and jumping off of the top ropes. Wrestling doesn't have to be fair. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
We're the Charger Chat. You get one, you get all.
That's right. So, all right, man, dude, it was so fun hanging out and chatting with you, Craig. Thanks for coming on, brother. And tell everyone how to find you. And yeah, tell everyone where they can check out your stuff.
Yeah, man. So, on Twitter is where you'll normally find me kind of going back and forth with people that aren't so nice to me sometimes, but I don't care because I have tough skin. But it's going to be top_flight, FLYT3 on Twitter. I have to get better about Instagram. I'm still not using it very much, but same name, same tag on Twitter as well. So feel free to jump in on any debates or just kind of just fun stuff that we talk about from week to week. Just like to drum up a little bit of banter. And sometimes I can be a bit petty, but that's just me. So whatever.
That's what makes it fun. That's why I get the notifications from you. I was like, who's he fighting with today? I love it. Let's go.
I love it, dude. I love debating in general. And a lot of times what I find is that people take me a little too seriously. Sometimes I just do stuff just to be silly and then it turns into something different. But look, you guys don't offend me. Some people are complete strangers. You'll never piss me off on Twitter. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. I laugh at all that stuff, but it's just fun for me. It's fun.
That's awesome. All right, man. Well, thank you again for your time. We look forward to your next Craig experience.
Oh, yep. Coming up. You know it as always. So yeah. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
When Craig and the Will Dog are in the ring, we're coming for you. We're coming for you, Bam Bam Bigelow. We're coming for you, Andre the Giant. We're coming for you, Jake the Snake Roberts, because no one can take down the Craig and the Will Dog, and that's a fact.
Oh my God.
You made the right decision.
I'd pay money to watch that for sure.
Me and Kevin are backstage. You know how they have like the camera on the backstage guys? We're like Latimer and Alvin Mack in the program, like spitting in each other's mouths and headbutting. And we come out and we just throw you guys like weapons.
You
into
come
the
out
ring.
walking like I think they were the Bushwhack boys or something like that. They do the walk like this. You both come out walking like this.
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm listening to that question going, he's going to say Coach because it's like Coach is like the most physically fit out of all of us. And
How
I'm sure.
dare you? I'm working on it.
You just said it yourself. Working on it.
Coach
Facts. You speak facts.
Craig went PC. I love the answer. I think that is
really
it's the only logical answer.
It's the logical answer. I think using Woolie's power of voice is logical.
His strength, your voice, put it together.
And then we're going to cheat.
Wrestling
Obviously,
baby.
me and Kevin are going to come in.
Yeah, we're bringing the heat. We're bringing the heat.
Oh my God, Craig! What a good to see you talking with Kevin.
Yeah.
It was fun to have him on with. I'm used to sitting here watching his interview.
Right.
It's fun to have him the dialogue. We need to get more of that with
We
Craig.
do. Yeah, we need more dialogue with Craig. I think we need to make that happen. But that was awesome, dude.
Hopefully at one of the games this year.
Yeah. And
Mrs. Craig, please let him come.
Mrs. Craig from Texas, please.
Pretty please.
Yeah.
We'll be your friend.
Mrs. Top Flight 3, please.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. Craig in a different light on Bolt Insights. Love to see it. And now it's time to go over to one of our newer segments. We had one a couple weeks ago. We're bringing it back, folks. It's time for Bolt History with Mike Maudlin. Let's see who we got this week.
Hello, Charger fans, and welcome to Bolt History with me, your host, Mike Maudlin, aka Supercharger. And I will be bringing you stories from Chargers history going all the way back to 1960 that are weird, funny, or entertaining in some way. This story that I'm bringing you today comes from the 1983 season. I was 12 years old at the time, and it was one of the first home games that we had attended, and I believe it was against the New York Jets. And during the game, there was a crazy crowd chant that started happening. It was because of somebody in the crowd that had a sign that actually said this too. They brought a sign that said, "Oh, well, what the hell? Whatever happened to Ricky Bell?" So I wondered what the hell happened to Ricky Bell. I thought about this chant for quite a long time after that happened. I didn't understand at the time who Ricky Bell was, what was going on, why he wasn't there at the game. Ricky played at USC, and he'd been a converted linebacker. He actually went from linebacker to fullback, and one day at a practice in college, their starting running back was out. And so their coach, USC's coach at the time, Rich McKay, told Ricky to try out at running back and just see what would happen. And the guy blew it out of the water. And he ended up setting records for USC, broke some of O.J. Simpson's records, and he was a really, really good running back. Fast forward to 1976, he placed second in the Heisman behind Tony Dorsett. 1977, Rich McKay became the head coach of the Buccaneers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 1976, they had a winless season. So they had the number 1 overall pick in the draft. So the 1977 draft, they draft Ricky Bell first overall, even above Tony Dorsett. He plays for the Buccaneers for 6 seasons. But he was not good with the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers did not have a good offensive line, and Ricky struggled to really do well running the ball there. And he played, like I said, for 6 seasons there, and he ends up starting to have some injury, what they thought were injury issues towards the end of his time in Tampa Bay and on his rookie contract. He started missing practices, and it started being a couple of days at a time, and it turned into a couple of weeks at a time. And it turns out that they really didn't want to stick with him because he was struggling so hard towards the end of his Buccaneers time there. So they traded him to the Chargers in 1982 for a 4th-round draft pick. Now, keep in mind, the Chargers already had James Brooks and Chuck Muncie, who were doing just fine running the ball, so they didn't really need Ricky Bell, but they had a chance to get an all-pro running back, or formerly all-pro running back, and a Heisman candidate for a 4th-round draft pick. Who wouldn't jump on that? So the Chargers traded for him, and he gets to the Chargers, and there's a strike in the 1982 season. So there's only 9 games. During that strike-shortened season, Ricky carried the ball twice for 6 yards. Obviously not a great time with the Chargers there. And then we flash forward to the 1983 season. Everybody comes back, and Ricky's not there. And so that is now what prompted this chant of all the fans wondering where Ricky Bell was. Why isn't he playing? Apparently, the team didn't communicate that to the fans, that Ricky was retiring. Then that chant bursted out, "Oh, well, what the hell? Whatever happened to Ricky Bell?" Actually, what was going on with him was that he was suffering from a health condition called dermatomyositis, a muscle and skin issue. And doctors said he could have been suffering from this thing for up to 10 years prior to the diagnosis. So he was suffering from this thing the whole time, which was probably why his production went down, and unfortunately ended up passing away from it in 1983, that same year that chant happened. His story, not his entire life story, but a special relationship that he had with a handicapped child, was turned into a made-for-TV movie called Triumph of the Heart. And also, Ricky was finally inducted into the College Hall of Fame in 2004. And you can also catch Triumph of the Heart on Netflix and Prime. So if you're interested in hearing more about this story, check that out for sure. But now we know what the hell happened to Ricky Bell, and it's a really, really sad story. But just imagine what could have been with Chuck Muncie, James Brooks, and Ricky Bell running the ball for the Chargers. That would have been incredible had he not had these health issues. So that will do it for our Bolt history with me, Mike Maudlin, a.k.a. Supercharger. And it's been great talking with you. Okay, love you, bye.
Boy, Mike. Well, thank you for that interesting tidbit of information. I mean, that is definitely prior to me becoming a Charger fan, and I'm sure a lot of the people listening
before I was even alive.
Yeah,
so thanks
exactly.
for that insight.
Yeah, prior
to good to know more
prior
about
to being born. Yeah. Ricky Bell, boy, what a harrowing story, and what a sad way to go. But what an interesting little tidbit about the Chargers. I had not heard anything about that, and who knows what that running back core could have been.
Right. It's like, why would you? 2 carries for 6 yards, and then he was gone. Just like that.
Just like that, yeah.
It just makes you think, like, we like wax poetic about all these topics and all this stuff, but like, just jump in a DeLorean, jump back to the 40 years ago. Like, they were the same conversations were happening. It's just about different group of players.
And the lack of information. Like, we have information like that.
Yeah.
Every practice, there's interviews. We're getting everything. Fans didn't even know why he wasn't there.
Right.
Yeah.
They had no idea he was suffering from this medical condition that ended up taking his life that year. It's like, that's a crazy thing to think about. Being a fan now compared to being a fan back then. We have 3 jackasses on a podcast talking about it. You can get information from us like that, but Charger fans back in the day, like, you had to go read the paper and hope they had the stories.
Right. Read the paper, catch it on the news. But that was it. There was no internet or hear it from a friend, maybe.
Right.
It just makes you it shows you like the fandom back in the day.
Yeah.
You had to be even more of a diehard because you weren't getting this like positive reinforcement interacting with fans on Twitter.
Right.
Like, you love this team because you love this team.
Right.
And I think that's a great story that kind of reflects, like, being a Charger fan has always been a unique experience, and like having this kind of, these crazy stories that we didn't know about and they didn't even know about.
It's also so different though, because like back then, if you didn't, everyone now likes the Chargers and they're around the world, right? We've talked to people from around the world on our podcast that are fans of the team. That's just not a thing. You're a fan because that's what's in your community.
Right.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Right.
And now we can have a worldwide fan base where maybe we don't sell out a stadium and all Charger fans, but they're there. They're there in heart. They're just not there in person all the time.
Big time.
Great point.
What a great thought that it's now a worldwide fan. And it probably even was back then, but they were just by themselves and just like, I'm a fan of the Chargers. Who's that then? And it's just like, I don't know. And now we can all connect and interact with each other and instantly. Not just like, I'm not writing a pen pal and waiting to hear back from him a week later telling him how the Charger game went.
Even my dad, he talked about how he was a Cowboys fan growing up because he lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's the game they showed. That's the only option you had. You watched the Cowboys.
There's no Sunday ticket.
No.
No Sunday
There's
ticket.
I'm going to decide to be a Charger fan. Well, good luck with that, because you're not going to watch any games or see anything about that team.
Yeah. How are you going to see it? So it definitely opens up the idea of like Charger fans around the world, because now you can just like follow the players.
Right.
And you can see a lot of these, Craig from Texas.
Right.
LaDainian Tomlinson brought him to the Chargers.
Right.
Yeah.
But now we can follow him. We can follow our guys. So Herbert coming in, it's just going to change a lot of things, man.
He
keeps doing what he's done.
It's an exciting time to be a Charger fan. What a time to be alive in this type of a situation. But hey, Mike, thanks for giving us that
wonderful
bit of information.
Yeah, thanks for the research, man. That's a cool story.
Great story, and looking forward to the next one. We'll probably have another one here in a couple of weeks. But until then, folks, it's time to go on to our next segment, Coach's Classroom. That's right, folks. It's time for another Coach's Classroom. And unfortunately, we had to record this at a different time. And we were hoping to have Huggin with us, but he had some work business come up and unfortunately isn't able to join us. So it's just yours truly, myself, Wool Dog, and Kyle, the Coach Duggan. Kyle going to learn me a thing or two today. So I'm praying to God there's no pop quizzes, because I know it's not going to go well.
It's okay. I'll pretend like you're Kevin and you can just get it wrong. And it'll feel like he's here.
Cover
right. 2.
So as we mentioned, the Coaches Classrooms are going to be now focused on taking a look at our upcoming opponent. This week, it is the Washington football team. So Kyle took a look at some different aspects of this. So I'm curious to see, what did you find here, Kyle?
Yeah, so I think everyone was most excited to see this Chase Young, Rashawn Slater matchup.
Mm-hmm.
And we've heard pretty much ever since the schedule got released and we found out that we were going to have Washington week 1, everyone has kind of been, intimidated or considering, or just like the idea of this defensive front and this pass rush from Washington, right? They're a very defensive minded team with Ron Rivera as their coach. That's what he's known for.
Yeah.
They have a really strong front to their defense. So I just wanted to I'm going to look at a couple of plays of Chase Young. This is the first preseason game of the year. It kind of came to mind right away, because I think this was like the first one of the year, and it was on prime time. And I watched it. And in this first series, Chase has a huge sack, strip fumble of Cam Newton. And so I wanted to kind of see what the series looked like. and actually watch just Chase Young, kind of like I did on our Tuesday episode, looking at just Trey Pipkins, and just look at a couple of plays and see kind of the differences, what he adjusts with, how he changes, and really what he looks like against the run. Because the reason I think Joey Bosa is a better all-around football player than Chase Young is what he does against the run. So I wanted to see kind of all those aspects and see how he adds up as a football player. Now, again, small sample size, again, also preseason, but he is going against the number ones. This is all of New England's number ones. So it's the most recent that I found of him against number ones on a good team. So I wanted to just take a quick look at it. So right away, this first play, this is a run, but you'll see Chase Young instantly gets off the ball and gets straight upfield. This is Chase down here. He's on the edge.
Okay.
So 1st and 10, if you've ever watched the Patriots game, it's pretty, especially with Cam Newton at quarterback, you're pretty much 95% sure it's going to be a run. Now, something that I don't know if everyone knows, this is one of the most frustrating things. The coach is watching your defensive line fly upfield on a run. And what I mean by that is if you get upfield, that's getting towards the quarterback. On a pass, yeah, obviously you want to get upfield, get to the quarterback. But on run plays, if you get upfield right away and you get too far away from the line of scrimmage, you create all these cutback lanes, all these different holes that now open up because you got too far upfield. So it's a big part of playing D-line is knowing if it's a run or pass. Now, there's a lot of ways to figure that out. Obviously, the offensive lineman stance, the down and distance, the team you're playing. These guys have to be thinking a lot too. They're not just big bodies that are flying upfield every single play. On a run, what you want to do is you want to win the line of scrimmage and sit at their heels. That way I can go sideline to sideline. If I just go upfield and this guy runs here and then cuts back underneath me, it's going to be more difficult to make the play.
Right.
If he comes here and then tries to bounce outside, if I had stayed here at the line of scrimmage, I have a better angle to cut him off. Whereas if I get straight up field, now I'm just chasing him down. I'm not going to be faster than a running back. So
simple geometry, shortest distance between 2 points. You just want to be closer to where the action is.
Exactly. So in a run, you want to own the line of scrimmage. You want to get to the heels, stay there, and then find the ball.
Gotcha.
In a pass, obviously, you're going to see the fun, pretty pass moves, the swipes, the rips, the swims, all that, the spin moves. It's all that fun stuff.
That's a lot of dance moves. I don't know that I can figure all that out.
Takes two to tango. Adam, me and you, we got this.
All right.
But yeah, so just watch this play with Chase Young. This is 1st and 10. In my mind, I'm assuming a run. He gets up to the ball and just flies upfield. You'll see pretty quick. I'm getting upfield. I don't know if he's excited. First play of the preseason. I don't know why he thinks it might be a pass, but he's just instantly upfield. You see this hole that's created when he flies upfield. It's pretty blatant. That cutback lane is there right away. So in my opinion, I can't say this is what he always does, but there is an opportunity there to take advantage of his aggressiveness. Now, look, he continues to fly upfield. This cutback lane is here, right? Look at this hole that he created.
Massive.
If he had stayed here at the line of scrimmage, him and this linebacker 55, there's nowhere to go.
Right.
It's a complete wall with no opportunities. But because he flew upfield, there is this cutback lane available. So in our game this week, I hope that we try to look at ways to take advantage of that aggressive play from Chase on some of those in between down and distance. You don't know if it's run or pass. You might catch him getting excited and getting upfield and be able to catch him on a little cutback. Because if this fullback had hit here, this is a big lane. This thing is huge. That's a Mack truck that you could drive through there. So yes, he's a very talented, very gifted freak athlete. But there are ways to scheme to try to take advantage of that. And one is taking advantage of his aggressive get upfield kind of play. Okay, so here again, now 55 has walked up. Chase Young is the one right here. He's just inside of this last man. Now, the difference in that first play that we looked at, we know it was run 1st and 10. He got up too far upfield. He was in a 3-point stance. So now you've created a bad situation that we don't want to be in a lot come Sunday. 3rd and 8 is an obvious passing down. These defensive linemen are pinning their ears back. They're going to fly upfield at the snap. They're coming after the quarterback. They already know it's going to be pass. 3rd and 8, and they're all spread out. Another thing to watch, I just kind of saw this. You see this running back? The running back is ahead of the quarterback, right? He's closer to the line of scrimmage than the quarterback. How's the quarterback going to hand him the ball? Right? So when you're watching this, You see this guy lined up here. It's a pass. He's trying to get up there
for a block.
Exactly. He's either prepping to come up and be a part of pass pro or leak out to the flat. He's not going to get handed the ball if he's in front of the quarterback.
Gotcha.
So there's just little things, and those defensive linemen see it too. They know it. 3rd and 8, they're going to pass the ball. So Chase Young now is in a 2-point stance. He's getting ready to go and make his money. This is what this play right here that we're about to watch is what we're afraid of when it comes to Chase Young playing against our Chargers on Sunday, and what's going to be exciting about seeing Rashawn Slater. And keep in mind, this is against the starting left tackle for the Patriots. This is not playing against a Trey Pipkins. This is not a backup. This is Isaiah Wynn, their number 1 starting left tackle. And he makes him look pretty silly. But at the end of the day, what can help us a lot on Sunday is not getting in these obvious 3rd and 8. Chase Young knows it's a run. Knows it's a pass, and he's just going to pin it back and go. Because as you watch this play, he puts on one nasty pass rush move, and he pretty much destroys Cam Newton. And that's not what we want to see happen to Justin Herbert come Sunday. The other thing that I will say that Washington does, and obviously with the coaching staff that they have defensively, they're a smart team. They're going to be able to scheme around it. This tight end here, he's lined up close to the line of scrimmage, close to this tackle. Now, what you would ideally have him do is help chip on Chase before going on his route. But with 55 walked up here, with this linebacker walked up on the edge, you remove that ability to do that. The only one he could chip is 55. He doesn't know if he's blitzing. He's not going to be able to come all the way in here, chip Chase, and then get back out, because if this guy is in coverage, he's going to jam him up. So there are little things that Washington's going to do to try to prevent us from being able to chip Chase. So there will be times when Rashawn's going to have to man up, earn that NFL salary, and go man to man. But yeah, this is not a play that we want to see happen on Sunday, because his pass rush moves are elite. That's why he was Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last play that we'll look at here, this is the adjustment, right? This is the next play that the Patriots have the ball after having Cam basically demolished by Chase Young. This is how you help defeat an elite pass rusher. This is what teams have to do against Joey Bosa. This is what teams have to do against those elite of the elite. Again, this is the very next play right away. You know, Belichick's like, okay, all right, Chase Young's that good. Isaiah can't really handle him one-on-one. We're going to have to give him some help. So what they do is the Patriots, instead of having this tight end, remember on that play that Cam got sacked, he was out here. He was in a 2-point stance. Now you put him in a 3-point stance, meaning his hand is in the ground, and he's able to help chip Chase Young before going out on his route. This is what I think we're going to do a lot of. We obviously have Parham can stand up and be outside, but Cook, for the most part, is very comfortable with his hand in the ground.
Right.
So I think that this is what you'll see a lot on passing situation downs that are obvious to try to slow down the pass rush, is to get a chip from your tight end, meaning you basically just hit him 1,000 and then go on your route. So it slows your route down a little bit, slows up timing, but you'll see here, it immensely helps your tackle to be able to slow down that initial step, to be able to get contact with him and keep him off of the quarterback. So I'll roll the clip here so you can see the drastic difference in what happens with a little bit of a chip. So the ball snap, chip. Now a tackle has time, and now there's time to slow him down, get hands on him, and push him up past the quarterback.
Wow, yeah.
So it helps out. It seems like a little silly thing, but it helps immensely. It will slow down your route. You don't want to have to do it. But again, Belichick, that play after Cam gets destroyed, he's going to go, okay, let's not let that happen again. And now you're in Chase Young's head. What's going to happen when there's a tight end? Am I going to get chipped every play? Starting to get frustrated. So overall, how do you slow down a prolific pass rush? I think there's 3 things that I thought of. There's probably more than 3. But one is to run the ball successfully, right? As we talked about with that first clip, if you're running the ball really well, he can't just be flying upfield, because we will start to hit those cutbacks where we take advantage of him being too aggressive. That will slow him down at least a second to have to think about, oh man, is this a run? I need to stay here and sit, make sure that it's not a pass before I fly upfield. The The second thing is don't get in predictable play calling situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be in the 3rd and longs. You don't want to have the penalties that put you behind the sticks so you're forced to pass. When you're in those situations, he's going to pin his ears back and come. So you just want to, whatever you can do, prevent obvious passing downs, because then you have to chip, you have to help, you have to mess up your routes and your timing. And the final thing is the screen passing game. And I think that's where the Chargers are going to be really successful this year with Austin Eckler, is on those little screens, because on a screen, our linemen are going to try to punch the pass rusher, make him think that it's a pass, and then basically let him go upfield and move up to the second level of the defense. Now, if you keep doing that and Chase Young keeps getting burnt, it's going to make him think twice before he just flies up to the quarterback. He'll have to be like, oh, shoot, this is a screen pass. I need to get back. So all of those things, you have to be able to run the ball well. Don't get in predictable play calling situations, and a successful screen passing game, which I think we can do all of those things. I think our offense is built to be able to do all of those things. So hopefully we can execute and eliminate Chase Young as a threat.
Yeah, I think it's not just are we able to do those things. I think we've got at least what feels like a competent enough coaching staff that can recognize that it is those little things enough. I mean, if you can throw them off by just half a second, it's enough to give Herbert enough time to set up and make those kind of plays, or anybody to make those kind of plays, whether it's a run or a pass.
Right.
That's really enlightening. That's crazy that it can be something that's just so quick, but it's enough to throw a guy's game off that he can't accomplish what it is that he's trying to do.
Yeah.
It seems like a game of inches and seconds and half seconds and everything like that. So it's impressive and exciting to see what the Chargers are going to do this Sunday. Boy, well, let's take it back to all three of us and let's see how we get out of this episode, huh? Well, there you go, folks. That's going to do it pretty much here for the Charger Chat episode. We are just days away from that first game of the season. Oh God, my heart is racing, just trying to comprehend the idea of seeing all of these guys out on the field. We've gone over it ad nauseum how many people we're going to see: Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Derwin James, Joey Bosa, Drew Tranquil. There's just so many people.
Too much. There's so many people.
It's going to be really exciting to see. So we've already kind of given our bold predictions, but for those of you that have been longtime listeners with us in the past, when we win a game, we're pretty damn excited. So we hop on real quick and give you guys some instant excitement reactions. So if we come out with a W on this one, folks, be ready for a quick little episode from the Charger Chat boys. And if it goes in a way that we don't want it to go, then expect us to be crying in a corner somewhere.
You won't want to hear that.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that. You don't want to
Shameless
see
positive. We're not going to come on here after an L.
You don't want to see a grown man cry. Nobody wants to see that. So. All right. Well, there you go, folks. That's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Don't forget to bolt up, because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye. Go Chargers.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Yeah! You know what, Cousin Luke? What's that, Cousin Butch? Lawn care is an important part of my life. Yeah! So you know what we did? What's that? We started up the Bushwhackers Lawn Care. Call us up today and we'll whack those bushes before you can say, whoa!